leaders, three teams. Looks like you guys have made your own team, if I'm not wrong. So the next step is you have to provide your team name and the team members to operations team volunteer, Testoper operations teams volunteer, right? So who are they? Shad, who is in the call, and also Mickey, who is in the call. They take care of operations related activity, meaning creating the the separate channel for you and bringing your team into the channel. Then you all can collaborate within the channel and develop your skills, develop the project throughout, and etc. etc. So the most important thing next step is come up with a name that you wanted to call your project, and give the name and the team members to the operations team so they can create the dedicated channel for you all. Okay, is that clear?
Hi, this is Sean. This is my first time, so I was not able to attend it last time, so I don't know how will I go ahead.
Okay, let me see. Sean, it looks like you have our Microsoft account, right? Testoper Microsoft.
Yes, yeah, I do have.
Okay, so we have three teams, right? So if you have the Testoper Microsoft account, you can go to Teams, go to General. If you don't have, you can ask permission. Are you also in the WhatsApp group, Testoper Projects WhatsApp group?
No, sorry, I'm not, because this is my first officially like attending, so I.
No issues, no issues. So what you need to do is the Testoper WhatsApp link is in the chat. Operations team, if you could post that, I would appreciate it. Yes. So join the WhatsApp group, and I believe you already have a account. And if you don't see what I'm showing you, Testoper projects general files, then you can ask in the WhatsApp group or in the teams to the volunteer team to set you up, right? So inside this, there is a folder called project documents, and inside this project document, you can review this document here. And also there are videos, last 4 session videos are in YouTube, you can review them. So long story short, what we are trying to do is we are trying to form teams. This is the first team we are forming, and then we will bring additional people to form additional teams. But right now we are focusing on forming 3 teams. The idea is each of the team will come together and they will build the project, and they start their own company, or they give that project to the community to use, right? So it's completely up to them. So that's the whole concept. We want people to learn, come together, learn how to from the level 0 all the way to delivering the product, working together, develop all the skills that are required to do that, right? So that's the thought process, and that's at a very high level this particular program is all about. Okay. So from the governance points of view, that's all. That's what you need to do, Sean.
Okay.
I hope it answered your question. And then next thing, what you need to do is we have 3 teams today, headed by 3 gentle ladies, 1 lady and 2 gentlemen, right? So Phil is leading 1 team, Greg is leading another team, and then Sandra is leading the 3rd team. So you can reach out to them in the Microsoft Teams, understand what they are trying to do. Whichever project that you believe you are interested in joining, you can join them. All right, Sean, is it clear?
Okay, thank you. I will. Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. Sean, maybe you should give a little bit intro about you, so all the 3 leaders know about you, so they can come behind you to get you into the team.
So my name is Sean. I am from Mississauga in Canada, and I have my background in programming and in databases. So I have done VB.NET and SQL Server, Python. I'm an engineer by profession, and I work for automation. So that's pretty much about me.
What company do you work right now, Sean?
I work for Maple Leaf Foods.
Maple Leaf Foods. Okay. We used to buy a lot of chicken from there.
Yes, these days we have some non like some green life products, which are which are vegetarian based product line.
Yeah, I know. But you're talking to a wrong person. I'm just vegetarian. That's too far for me. But anyways, good to know. I know that Maple Farms also sponsor the nonprofits like us. So maybe we can work on that offline and see. They have some kind of yearly sponsorship for the nonprofits. They publish it in their website.
Yes, yeah, they do. I am also new to this company. I joined here since last 1 year.
Okay.
So, but definitely, yes, I can look into it that, and if that is possible, I will try to help as much as I can.
Because the inside people, if they give good thing about us. So, anyways, let's get started. So you all know, I always say this, right? Our community revolves around 4 words. The first word is we are people-led grassroots movement, meaning we all people come together and we all run the show, right? It's not. It's a people grassroots movement. This community is all about, and we are the tech community, focus on software developers, testers, and operations experts, from the engineer all the way to the CEOs and CTOs. That's number one. And the second key word you all have to remember that we use is future skills and innovation. So we help people to develop future skills and innovations. How do we help them to develop? That's our third word: continuous learning, lifelong learning. So by doing this, what happens? End result, he becomes a future workforce. Guys, always remember these 4 words. These are the 4 words whenever you talk to your friends, family, or anyone you should be talking to, okay, and letting them know. The other important thing I also wanted to do from the logistics point of view is I am going to send here. There are some interesting things that I wanted to announce today. But before that, let me go to General Files. I'm going to create here new folder. About okay. So here inside this channel, what I'm inside this folder, what I'm going to do is I am going to upload 2 files for you guys. Okay. The first one is the presentation of Testoper, and then the second file is what? Something is going wrong with my mouse. I have to click 5 times for double click. Okay, so I have uploaded these 2 things. I also kindly recommend you guys to read through this if you wanted to know a little bit more about Testoper, and share it with your friends, colleagues, and your company. I would really appreciate it. So that's one. Now, the second interesting thing is that you remember last week we discussed the most biggest hurdle that you have crossed is forming the team. And kudos to Fane, kudos to Greg, and kudos to Sandra. You are able to pull together a team. When I say team, even if you are able to bring one person along with you, it is still a team. So I really appreciate it, and I think 3 team for this particular program to start is really good. And the first thing that you have accomplished, and the second thing that we discussed in our last week is you need to start building the team with the different capabilities, right? So whenever you wanted to build a software project or a product, you need a front-end guy. Even if you don't have a designer, it is still okay, right? In the second phase, you can have a designer, but the front-end person who can do some front-end, and then a back-end person who can do some back-end, the database, cloud, right? These are the 4 key areas that you need some expertise. So either you have expertise, people who already have an expertise in your team, that's good. Even if it is not, don't worry, right? Talk to the team members and understand their interest, and then ask them to start preparing their skills around these areas. So that's the second key step. Now, for the second key step, I'm going to say a few things today. what I'm going to say is, what you need to do for me, go and you all, if you are in front of a computer, that's good. If not, please listen to this. Go to skills, build.org. Okay. So go to skillbuild.org. This is an IBM skills, and I'm working with them to use this for us. It is free, and I'm also working with them to introduce this to our community so they can provide us credit for using IBM Cloud. Okay, so this is what I'm going to rely on. I'm pushing IBM to see what are all the things that we can get to help our community members, right, and our teams to learn skills and build the idea and the project that they have moving forward. Okay, so go here. What you need to do is go here and then click register. Select any one of the thing, right? Then enter your first name, last name, your email address, same what you have given in Testoper. Confirm email address, select country wherever you are from. And then if you're a job seeker, student or other, click other. If it is other, please write down here working adult, right? Because you are working, right? You can be either job seeker or you're a student or you're working, right? So you can put here working adult. Then preferred language. How did you hear about us? This is very, very important. Go to skill build nonprofit organization. Then after that here, say Testoper community. And then click here, you're above 18 years of age, agree, 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 and register. So I'll repeat again, okay? Go to skillbuild.org, click register, put your names and everything. Two important things that you need to make sure is put your working adults, select skill builds nonprofit organization and put Testoper community. And then register. So once you register, right? Are you guys still with me?
Yes, we're with you.
Awesome.
Kader?
Yeah.
For the skills nonprofit organization,
Yeah.
would we put Testoper only or Testoper community?
So our legal name is Testoper community.
Okay, thank you.
Come on. So once you log in, right, you will see lots and lots of materials that you can learn. So now, depending upon the project that you want to do, and depending upon the skills that you want to develop, you can select and you can start building your skills. So this is an when you do that, you can actually get badges, right? They also have a career path. See here, whether you are interested in skilling up for the digital economy or taking your first step towards a new career, you can get started with either digital foundations or role-based paths. So this is something that we wanted to develop, which is something that we have already developed, learning path, as you see here. Programs and resources. So this number of resources are here. Depending upon what each one of you within your team wants to develop the skills, you can go and start doing, enrolling into this and start learning about it. Any questions? Any questions how to join? And after that, once you are inside, you can explore. But only thing that I kindly recommend is don't get lost, right? Focus on what skill you want to build for the project you are building, and develop that skill that is develop all the skill that is required for you to build your project. Okay. And now, if you don't see some of the things that you wanted to learn here, you can always Google, go to YouTube, and you can learn. YouTube, there's thousands of programs are there. But only advantage of this one is Whatever the programs that you are learning, you will get badges, which will be good for your, you can say you got this badge, when you're looking for a new job or promotions, etc., etc. Is it clear?
Yep.
All good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Good. So now what I have done today for you guys is I have established the foundation of 3 teams. Now you have formed the team. Now you know what are all the different skills are required to be developed within your team to successfully build a project or a product, right? And I have given you the place where you can go and develop your skills. Now, what another thing that I'm working on is to get the credit for the IBM Cloud platform and have the cloud so that you can learn how to use that IBM Cloud platform. They have a lot of AI, lot of APIs for AI and all, right? You can learn in the skills build and then you can use their platform and you can build it based on whatever the application that you wanted to build. So that is the next step that I'm working with them to get the credit for their IBM Cloud for 1 year. Some credit, right? Monthly 1,000 or 10,000, whatever that they give in-kind credit. And I've applied for it for our team. And I'm hoping to get that through. And once that is through, we will create logins, password, and everything. And we will provide it the one login and password for one team. So you can use that to deploy your projects and learn. Even you can use that for learning and also developing your project, deploying your project, and seeing things and so on. Right. So I'm working on that for you all, and I once that is available, I will give it to you. Then the last thing is the GitHub. Right. So once you have the team, and once your team structure is created in the Microsoft Teams as a channel, and the same thing, we have to create a GitHub repository for you, a separate repository, and you can collaborate in that repository to start checking in, checking out, and things like that. Okay. So these are all some of the governance point of view that we need to take care of, and we have progressed one step at a time. Now let me open the floor for next 7 minutes for any questions you have, so I can answer.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
So in my team, we finally decided to go with skills analysis instead of job analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a particular document in the project files on skills analysis. I was just wondering, we need a little bit of clarification on the skills analysis, like what it entails, and maybe a couple of requirements to understand it fully. Because for now, we just have that document, and we're just reading it to know how to build the project or the product.
Okay. The first answer to you is you should not look at that document.
Okay.
Okay. And what you have right now is this, right? Let me open the document. Because those things we did it as a pilot to train someone in last year, right? But this year it's a fresh. You should not look at that. So what you should do is go to this project document, go to this test project master plan, and let me see. Hold on. So you wanted to build a product on this block, correct? So what is it this block means? It is find where I am natural fit. That's what it is. So that means Fiin.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I'm explaining, right?
Yeah.
So what is where I am at the natural fit means as a person, Fiin, where I am naturally fit within the tech ecosystem. Am I a software developer? Am I a software tester? Am I an operations expert, which is what DevOps guy, cloud guy, which is what we focus on, right? And within that, am I a front-end developer, back-end developer? What am I? Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. He was asking about that skill analysis, the fourth one. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Sorry. So the same thing for skill analysis too, right? What is skill analysis? So you have an idea. Now you can take this idea or you can have your own idea. Okay. Or you can research many things and then you can come up with your own idea. It's up to you. You don't have to follow what is here. But if you have chosen skill analysis to do, fine, okay, then what does it mean? It means at a very high level, we gave you some definition, analyze future skills. So what does it actually mean, right? Fian today has X amount of skills. He knows A, B, C. Now he is, let's say, a software developer, right? And he is doing a software development in blockchain, for example. That is his current skills as a front-end developer. Now he wants to become a front-end developer, not for blockchain, but for AI. So that is you wanted to become, right? From place 1 to place B, place 2. Now, when you want to become from place 1 to place 2, what are all the things that you need to develop as a skill to transition from place 1 to place B? That is what is your idea of the project. Now you have this idea. Now you need to start researching to start building requirements for that idea. Right? So what do you need to do? What does it mean in practice, right, Fane? What you all as a team have to do is, see, I can research for you. Then there is no purpose of this whole project, right? Because we wanted you to become like an entrepreneur. So you need to do. So I can give you some guidelines. So in this page number 25, see, there are certain reference links that I have given. Okay, and I have given certain example products. And even today you saw that skill build, right? And within the skill build, you saw the learning path. You can also analyze how IBM is doing. You can look at all other examples. See, some examples may be applicable for you, some examples may not be applicable for you. Or you can search what all the products, open sources that are out there that does what exactly you are trying to solve, and learn how it does and how what you can develop that can be different from what they do, and then come up with a requirement. So this is an exercise, Fian, you as a team have to do. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So that's the thing, right? So I always use this word called research, research, research. Right? So what all we can do, what others are doing, how can we be unique? These are the 3 questions you need to answer yourself. Right? I'm going to put this in the chat. This is the 3 things that you need to really, really answer. Okay. Any other questions, please? Before we learn something new today, from the governance point of view. No questions? Greg, Finn, and Sandra, any questions from your?
For me, my question would be just if I could tag along what Fenya said. It's just about defining the requirements. I know a lot of us, but okay, before I go there, let me just quickly ask. For our projects, is it something that we are already experts in, or it's something we want to develop our skills in? Can we toe that line? And second question would be, like you said, research is just research. For now, we don't have anyone that can help us define requirements. So I'm open to anybody that would like to join my team so that we can have somebody that can help us refine those.
Sure. So that's one way to do it, Finn. The other way is develop your team skills to see. There is a difference, right? Let me explain this in a different way. We are together here in this session to learn together. It is okay if we don't know, but we can learn together to do the things, right? That's a different way of looking at it. Now, it's very simple. Like, say, for example, you wanted to buy a phone. And what do you normally do? You go and research in Amazon, you go and research in different things, you find the right model, and then you compare different models, what features are there, and then which is the best model that you wanted to do within the budget, whatever, and then you buy the phone, correct? It's the same thing. Anything that you do, you have to start researching. and you have to start understanding what's happening on that particular area in the market and try to understand the big picture and then start building your requirements around that. So there's two ways, right? Whether you bring in someone who already know how to write a requirement, whether you are developing your skills to write the requirement, both of you have to go through this exercise. Got it, Finn? Hello?
Yeah, I'm following what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it is an easy task, right? That's where we are here together to learn, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
Yes, as this is my first time, so I was thinking if maybe we can have an Excel sheet or maybe some list somewhere in which all our teams or all of us we write down our skills or something, so that I'm not sure if all the teams they have selected their members, but I think that would be some sort of transparent and collaborative things to look at.
Correct. So the idea here is, Sean, I mean, teams are already formed, right? There are few members like you are not part of some of the teams. You are welcome to join the team. And once you are inside the team, then within the team, you can share the skills and what gaps and et cetera,
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay.
Yeah. There is another way of doing it. In fact, when we started this 3-4 sessions ago, I requested team to enter their own skills, and based on that skills, the leaders to go and choose, right?
Right.
And leaders themselves also nominated themselves as a leaders, right? So it's like I said, people-led grassroots movement. So now you can choose any one of the team, and then you can jump into the team to help. Like for example, Fian needs help, obviously, right? That's why he's asking this question today in front of everyone. Maybe you can join his team and help him. Okay.
Sure. Yes, I'm not too sure if I will be able to help because I'm still kind of getting on board, but definitely I will try to do whatever in my best skills level.
Sure. Learn to help, guys. Learn to help. Learn to learn. You don't have to know everything. See, nobody is in this world came in knowing everything, right? I have worked 22 years, and in 22 years, I have learned by myself to do whatever that I am doing now, right? Through the process. So I started also somewhere to get here.
Right.
And when I started, I never had a forum like this, people-led grassroots movement, where we all teach for, we all learn together, right? There was nothing like this. So we went through hard time to do that. Now we have this platform, so we all can learn from each other. Right? Utilize the platform and learn that. We have number of other programs. Like I told you, you can go to the Eventbrite and look other programs that we, this week we started a test automation program. And this Saturday, we have a cloud fundamentals program, which is going to be taught by Partha, right? And who's also in this call. And 2 codathons are starting. In the March, we have AI masterclass. If you wanted to learn AI masterclass, you can join that program. And we have a meetup. You should go and register all these events, right? Because all these events are going to help you to learn that you can bring back and contribute in this project and become an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. Now I have provided you with the skill build, and I'm looking to bring in free credits for cloud. So all these things that I'm going to facilitate you is going to help you to learn things together and grow. Okay. Any other questions, team, before we go to our next phase of our session today? So far, so good, especially the leaders. Sandra and Greg, are you good?
Good.
Clear.
Perfect. Okay, so let's learn something together. First 30 minutes is all about governance, and next 30 minutes is all about learning something together. So let me open my presentation. All right. Okay, so what all things we learned? We learned about the definitions of different skills, tools, so we all understand and in the same page. We learned about, because we are building the product, so we started learning from very basics. and we answered our questions like what is a product, what is the product line, what is product portfolio, what is a service, what are the different types of services, what is called as a solution, what it is called as a platform, and what is the difference between all these three things is something that we learned in our previous session. Then we started learning, okay, we are building the product. So we learned what is the product and so on. Now we also have leaders and we all have to manage ourselves to build this. See, when you're building a company, you need to manage among yourself. You have to establish the governance and good practices, best practices that works for your team. It could be different for different teams, right? See, I could have created a governance and I could have told you all, hey, this is how you need to follow. Hey, this is how you need to follow. And everyone follows in the same way. But if there is like, if I impose something like that, then what happens is I don't give a platform for innovation, and I don't give a platform for the people to think differently than I wanted, differently than I think, right? So that's why I wanted to give a free hand. I wanted to provide the platform for you guys, so you have a free hand to innovate and think and build a governance and structure that makes sense for your organization within your team. So that's the thought process. So it's we learned something about what product is, what solutions is, services is, platform is, and all those kind of things. Why did we learn that? Because it's very important, right? When you're building your product, you need to really see how you are going to build your product, right? Are you going to build your product like it's a service-based product? You're going to put it as a SaaS, subscription-based and things like that. I'll talk about all those different types of products, how you can build in the future sessions. But at least whatever that I explained to you about the definitions is pretty basic thing that you need to know. Then once we have understood what the product is, then the second skill that you need to develop is management related skills around the product. So when you talk about management, it is a holistic management of all different things, right? Basically, you're charge of running the company, right? All different things that you need to really focus on to run the company. So that includes people management, process management, product management, finance management, marketing management, number of different things, right? I will teach you in every single thing in all the future sessions for you to learn. You will learn step by step. But what's important right now to understand is what is a management. We learned in our last session what is a management. It's nothing but you are a person who is in charge of running the whole company end to end, collectively. That's what the management is all about. Because we are focusing on building the product, I wanted to focus on explaining you what is a product management rather than explaining you all other managements, right? Because the product management is also sometimes referred as a management of a company sometimes, right? It's not like a management of the whole company. So within a big company, you have one product, right? And that one product is managed like a small company within that big company. So a product management is an organization which is within the company, right? Who is responsible for managing the product or product line or product portfolio that is assigned to them end to end, holistically, collectively, right? So that's what the product management means. Now you can inside the product management division, like within an organization you have product management, R&D management, marketing and stuff like that, right? So within the product management, obviously any organization is made up of the people. So there is going to be some people who is working inside the product management, like how different project managers work inside the project management organization, and how different developers, designers work inside the software development organization. Like that, within the product management organization, there are people working, and those people name is called as product manager. A different designation, product manager, senior product manager, and etc., etc., etc. These guys are always looked at as a mini CEO or a general manager. Why they are call it as a mini CEO and general manager? Because they are responsible for holistic, collective management of their product. So now what does it mean? Holistic, collective management of the product. So now let's take that definition to what does it mean? Holistic, collective management of a company. So when you are saying holistic, collective management of a company, it means you are a responsible leader who has to take care of legal, finance, IT, operation. I'm talking from the software development point of view, right? And operations. Then you have your R&D team. Then you have your product management team. Then you have your project management team. You have your sales team. You have your marketing team. You have your pre-sales team. You have your product support team, on and on and on. So you should be able to manage all these teams collectively, holistically, so your company can run. That's from the point of view of company. Now, if you take the same definition and you think from the point of view of a product, to manage your product, you also need all these teams, right? You need a legal team to make sure your product is legally compliant. You need a marketing team to market your product. You need a R&D team to develop your product. You need a product manager within a product management team to holistically manage the whole thing. And you need to make sure it is generating the revenue. You need to make sure there is a support in your team. So the product manager is responsible, same as the CEO, for example, of a company. Only difference between the CEO and the product manager is product manager is a mini CEO and he is responsible for all the holistic and collective activities and organization to make his product successful. Whereas the CEO of an organization, his responsibility is to make the whole organization successful. So that's the difference. But otherwise, the roles and responsibilities of managing end-to-end is pretty much the same between the CEO and the product manager. That is why product managers most of the time are called as mini CEOs within the company, right? So now, if you go to this, because I have explained that, if you go to this, there are certain leadership skills that particular product manager should have. Now, why I am training this? Why is it relevant in our program? This is important for you to understand. It is relevant because Greg, Finn, and Sandra are the leads. They own the product. They can be looked at themselves as a product manager, look at themselves as a mini CEO who is responsible for collective and holistic management of end-to-end activities for their product and for their company. So you see the connection that I'm trying to establish, and that's where you get into the picture. Now, when you are a CEO or when you are a product manager of your team, so what are all the responsibilities that you have? Some of them you are already starting to do. Some of them maybe you don't have skills, but you need to develop them. And this is a platform for you to develop. And as you all know, you develop this project and things like that, we will provide you with volunteer certificate, everything, right? There's a lot of things to come. And I will also look into to find out if you can, if you are able to develop, you can go and pitch in some invest in front of investors. You can, there's a lot of things that I will train you in the process, how to create a pitch deck, how to go and pitch it in front of investors, how to join incubators and accelerators. You don't know what is incubator and accelerator. All these different things I will train you guys in the process, one step at a time. But now you as a leaders, right? What you need to do, there are certain skills that you need to develop. You need to have that leadership skill, leading and influencing. I will train you on that, each one of you. And you need to have cross-functional teaming experience. But now, right now, you are only managing a development team, so you're good. But in the real world, what happens is not only you manage the development team, you manage the marketing team, sales team, all the different cross-functional teams in the matrix organization. Some companies will give you as a head of that product, some company will give you a dedicated resources for all these different departments under you. But some company will say some company will not give you the resources, but you have to coordinate with other cross-functional teams and work with them to get your job done. So the skill of cross-functional teaming is very, very important as a leader. You have to make decisions, hard decisions sometimes, betterment for the company. Financial planning and analysis. You need to say, okay, I am building this project. If I'm going to go to the market, it is going to cost me $1,000, $10,000, and how many customers I will have, how much they will pay, and how I can recover the $10,000. When I can recover the $10,000, what is my forecast? What is my P&L? What is the income statement? All those things you need to know. Don't worry, you will learn before end of the year all these things from me. Accessing the industry and competition. This is the most important thing, which I already touched upon when Finn asked me the question. When you have an idea, it's not that you take an idea and start building. No. You need to see, how is this idea being developed by someone else? What kind of products that are out there? Which industry that it belong to? If I develop this, will it be really useful for the people? Or am I developing just for the sake of developing? What's the point in just the sake of developing? There's no point. We can work in our day company, and whatever the task they are giving, we can develop and we can give it, right? We don't know the big picture. But then when you are developing now here as a team, you have to really understand, if I develop something and if I deliver this particular product, will it be useful for the community? Will it be useful for the people? These are all the thinkings that you need to start thinking, right? This is what I mean by research. You need to understand when you're researching, whom am I building for? If I'm building a learning path, who is my customer who is going to use my product? And why would they use my product? You need to start thinking from that point of view. Forecasting, again, finance. And once you have the product in between MVP, you should start creating the pitch decks, going and pitching in front of the investors. I will train you how to do that. Formulating the products and strategies, how to create a go-to market. What are the different things? What is go-to market? What are the different things that you need to do to go to market? How do you own the complete product management lifecycle? I will train you in all these different things. But this particular slide, what I wanted you to get out of is, now you have built the team. You have to start developing the skills that are required as a mini CEO, each one of you within the team, to start things from the scratch. Don't expect, it's very easy for me to tell you, hey, do A, B, C, D, E. If I say that, then you won't develop yourself. There won't be a freedom. There won't be an innovation in it. So that's why I wanted to give you guidance, and I wanted you to really think, brainstorm with your team, and take this forward. All right. So that's about this slide. Any questions on this slide before I jump into the next one? Anyone? Any questions? So far, all good?
Yes, all good. It's really impressive how you are starting from the baselining and giving each team its individual collaborative environment in which they can come up with their natural ideas instead of forging them from your side. So that's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. We did have some baseline ideas for those who wants to kickstart, right? See, not everyone can come up with their own ideas, right? So to help, but we are flexible. Any ideas you can pick, any product you can pick, and you can build together. And I wanted to really see you are able to build the product and you are able to give it to the community for benefit of the community, or maybe you start your own company together with the team. You never know, right?
Great. Yes, I feel so bad. I missed early sessions. I will definitely watch all the previous session recording, and I'm really excited to see what's happening here.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, please share the brochures and presentations to your companies and everyone to help us to support this initiative. Okay, and let's jump into the last one. So I'm going to talk to you today about the product management lifecycle. So the lifecycle, the end-to-end lifecycle, how you start your product to how you end your product or retire your product. I think that's the right word to say. I took this reference from the PMBOK Product Managers Dex reference by Stephen Hines. Practically speaking, we have actually done that in my experience. Not following this framework, but more or less it's the same thing that we do in different names. But when you wanted to train someone, it's always better to refer some frameworks to train and also share your experience against this framework, right? So that's why I chose this framework. Now, let's learn together for next 10 minutes before we close the session. What is the product management lifecycle? So a quick question for you. What is the project management lifecycle? Can anyone explain? project management lifecycle?
It means the steps that you the steps that you go through to build a project.
Right. From starting to initiation to closing. Now, what's the difference between the project management and product management? Or what is the difference between a project and a product?
So for me, it would be like the project management will eventually end, but product management will continue. So it's more of a maintenance.
That's true.
Project management is, it's kind of the initiation, putting everything in place for the product to eventually succeed, but it ends eventually.
That's the right answer. So the project life cycle has a definite start and definite end, right? Some projects can happen for 1 hour, some projects can happen for 10 hours, but the point is it has a definite start and definite end. Product management life cycle starts from the time you conceive an idea, and that's where you are all right now. You have conceived an idea. You are at the starting point, right? Maybe 2-3% of the concept. That's where you are right now. You have to go through 100% of the concept phase. So it starts when you start to have an idea, and it ends when you take that product out of the market. So that's product management life cycle. So that's the difference. Now, within the product management life cycle, you can have number of projects. You can have a project created to do a research to identify if the idea is right or wrong. You can create a project to see if there are any, think about Avatar, right? When Avatar movie, he wants to take Spielberg 15-20 years ago, he had the story, but there was no technology for him to really implement that story that he had. And he has to really wait for the technology to come in to take his movie, right? So feasibility analysis, right? Definition and things like that, right? So you are at the starting point right now of the product management lifecycle. And the difference between the project management and the product management is project management or a project has a definite start and definite end. Product management lifecycle starts from the time you conceive an idea throughout the time until you retire the product from the market. So that's the product management lifecycle. Now this product management lifecycle is divided into 3 key phases. Here there is a new product planning, and also you can simply call it as a product planning. Right? So like let's say, for example, you have an idea today, it's a new idea for you, so it's a new product planning. But it's possible that you have already a product that you are responsible for, or you are owner of the product. Now the customer might ask you to add additional features, or they might ask you to do change your scope to different directions, act and adapt to build your product, evolve your product. So even that falls under the product planning. Right? Whether it is a new product or existing product enhancements, new features, or diversion from the initial planning, everything falls under the product planning. Then you have a product introduction. So product introduction is where you actually develop, you do the detailed design, develop, test, and then deploy it in the DevOps in cloud, and then launch the product so the customers can start using them. Now, within concept, feasibility, definition, development, launch, there are a number of things that you need to do. I will train you step by step all those things. Then the third one is the product launch, right? So you have launched the product, then customers started using the project. Then you do a lot of strategic and tactical management. There is a spelling mistake here. Of your project to continue to keep the project running, relevant for the market, so you can continue to acquire customers and continue to increase your revenue. So all those things falls under strategic and tactical management. So at a very high level, you divide this project management lifecycle into 3 blocks: product planning, product introduction, and product launch management. Today, let's talk only at a very high level what is product planning. Okay, so there are 3 things that I'm going to introduce today. 3 definitions. So the first definition is a concept. So the concept is ideas are generated and screened, and you have an opportunity. So now think about all the 3 teams that you have. You are in the process of identifying the ideas. You have number of ideas. So you have to put all those different ideas on the table. Now, idea, how does it come? It doesn't come because I gave you an idea. it doesn't come because you have something in your head and you want it to start happening. It comes in addition to I giving you an idea, you have an idea, researching, screening, and then finalizing and coming out with one idea that you wanted to really do, that you're convinced to do. And when you do, you will have an impact deploying that idea as a product to the market. So that's the concepts. The ideas are generated and screened, and it is an opportunity that you see whether to help others for free or to start your own company and become successful. Doesn't matter, right? One of these two things. So that's the concept. Now, where are you today? You all three team. You are probably at first 2 to 3% of the concept block. Now you're trying to think of what idea that I'm going to work on. And now when you have an idea, you need to look at, is that idea is already been implemented by others, how they have implemented it. If no one has implemented it, it is your new idea, then you will become a next Uber, right? But if it is an idea that you already is implemented by someone, then you go and look at how others are implemented. If I do that better than others, will that be relevant and accepted by the community? So you are at that stage now. In our next session, I will explain more and more details into the concept phase. What is concept phase? What are the different things that you need to do within the concept phase, and things like that in the future sessions I will talk about. But at a very high level, that's what the concept is all about. So the second one is feasibility. Now you have an idea and you have screened it, you have researched it, you have screened it, and you know that this is an opportunity that you have. Now the next step you move on to is a feasibility stage. Here you are going to qualify the idea in a more general detail with a business case, right? So what does it mean? It means, okay, you have an idea, you validated that idea, you did the research, and you believe honestly from your head, this is an idea that if I develop a product, it's going to be useful. So that when you do that, you come out of the concept phase. Then next phase is you have to qualify that in a general detail. I'll give you an example. There's many things you need to do within this, but I'll give you an example just to understand the concept. The ideas are qualified in general detail means you take that idea and you go to 10 people and you ask, hey, if I give you this, will it be useful for you? How much do you pay for this? If I provide the solution, will you pay or will you not pay? Will you choose me against the competitors? That's one a good example, right? You're trying to qualify that in a greater detail, and you're going to build a business case, the financial projections and everything. How much investment I need to do to build this, and if I build this, how much money I'm going to get, and how many years it's going to take for me to generate the return on investment. A business case you need to start building. So that's the feasibility phase. And after the business case is built, what do? You go and ask for the investment, and if there is an investor, he invests you and start building. Or you have your own money, you put your own money or your time and you start building. So that's your feasibility, right? Once you have the business case, once you are convinced you have money or time or whatever, then you get into the next phase, which is the definition phase. So here you will start defining how you can actually develop, which technology can you use, what front end you can use, back end you can use, what technology you can use, IoT, blockchain, and which IP architecture and interfaces you use, cybersecurity, how do I ensure my product is cyber secure, how do I put it in the cloud. These are IT architecture and interfaces. You know, that was taught in the previous sessions. So you start defining the product, and start specifying. You can call this like a business requirement. There is always an input and output to all these boxes. I will explain. But the point is, you have to start defining, but don't confuse this definition to the high level definition and low level definition and so on when you're doing the software development. This is more from the point of view of business requirements. And when you do this, you can further refine the business case and you can create a final business case and you can have a baseline of the product requirement. So these are all the three things that you do: concept, feasibility, and definition during new product planning. Then you get into the actual software development, development, high-level design, low-level design, software development, testing, all those kind of things. Then you do a launch. Launch also consists of go-to-market. Then when the product is in the market, you do strategical and tactical management. And we'll cover those new product planning and post-launch management at a very high level in our next session. And then what we will do is we will start digging into the details of concept phase. What are all the different things in the concept phase you need to do? Now I will take you through the complete different things that you need to do throughout your product. Now this is from the point of view of product management, but now this is good when you are working as an employee within a company, right? But when you are an entrepreneur outside of a company, you need to develop certain entrepreneurship skills on top of the product management skills. And that delta we will also cover towards the end, right? It's a lengthy process, but you will learn throughout the process from me. Okay, so with that, we will stop for the session today, and I'll open the floor for any questions. And I hope you all learned something today. Do you?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so you know where this document is. You can always go and refer. I will continue to update this presentation every session to give you guys details on step by step, and you will understand end to end. All right, so one question I have, is anyone in the call today who is outside of other than Sean, anyone else is new today? No, I guess. Okay, good, perfect. So 23 people are there in this call, but our team, 3 teams, all not 23 are inside these 3 teams. So guys, if you are not in the team, please reach out to the respective leaders and please start forming the team. Last year we had a couple of teams. One is called as an Intel Recruit headed by Joy. And we had another one which is headed by Vikash during the pilot program. Just as a pilot, we were testing it out. So that's why you actually will see 2 of the name here, right? Core Script and Intel Recruit. So these 2 are the pilot programs. Now we will create additional 3 programs here, which will be the actual live programs that we would be running this year. So with that, let's close the call. And I trust you learned something. And I'm looking forward to share all my knowledge and train you guys throughout this year to become a mini CEO and to become an entrepreneur and able to develop all the skills that are required to become a mini CEO and entrepreneur. And at the same time, you are able to develop your product and start your own company or give it back to the community and maybe go and pitch to the investors, join incubators and join accelerators. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we can achieve. And we will take one step at a time and we'll go from there. All right. So 3 projects, if we are able to make it successful throughout the year, that itself is a great success, right? And I don't intend to have like 10 projects, 15 projects. 3 projects we do and make it successful. You learn everything. Maybe next year we can do 5 projects, 6 projects or whatever. This year, 3 projects, 20 to 25 people, focused, learn end to end, because most of you all started from the starting. You will learn end to end everything in this session, and we will be very successful by end of this year. All of us from the point of view of learning together as a team. With that, let's close the session. You guys have a great evening, wonderful weekend. I will see some of you guys who wants to learn cloud fundamentals, which is going to start tomorrow, taught by Partha Kaushik, who's also in the call today. And just to tell you guys one thing, Partha was joined as an attendee. Now he's become a trainer, right, to help the people to learn from him. This is what we call it as learn to learn, train to learn, right? We want every one of you to learn, and then we wanted you to train others within this platform. And that is what we call it as a people-led grassroots movement. It is we all together, come together, learn together, train others, and we all grow together. That's what it is. We are a non-profit for impact organization, and that's the only way we all can grow together, learn together, and share things together. With that, let's close the call and talk to you all soon. Either see you tomorrow or next week, Friday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.